Welcome to the Yoga in Black podcast. My name is Tarani, and I am the creator and host of this show. Really, the purpose of this is to shine a bright light on Black yoga instructors to help create safe places for our community to practice because we deserve it just as much as anybody else. Each episode, I bring you a new yoga instructor or wellness professional to share their story so you get a chance to know who they are, find where they are offering their classes, and experience all of the magic that they bring within this practice, whether it's yoga, whether it's something else. As long as it's holistic, we're all about it. So keep watching, keep listening, and I hope you enjoy the show. Thanks for being here. You know, I've spent a good portion of my life over the last 3 years interviewing amazing people. And every time I just get more blown away by the talents, the strength, the courage, the perseverance, the risk taking, the just unmitigated gall of you to be this awesome. I fucking love it. And it's no different within this episode that you're about to witness. Monetta Wilson is astounding, absolutely astounding. A household name in her home and doing such amazing things for her community and beyond. Sit back and be amazed just as much as I was, because I'm gonna let her tell you the story. So just keep listening, keep watching, because I ain't got nothing else to tell you. All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the show, Yoga in Black. My name is Tarani, and this week I am joined by Mo Wilson, all the way from St. Lucia. I am so excited to get the chance to get to know her. I have been following her Instagram for a while, and the content that she shares is just so inspiring and just so warm and inviting, and I can't wait for you all to get to know her along with me. So Mo, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who are you, where you're from, what you do, all the things.
Hi, I'm Monetta Wilson, but people call me Mo, and I'm okay with that. I am from St. Lucia. I was raised in St. Lucia, and I was educated in the US. And I came to yoga through a long journey of actually Denise Austin programs on Lifetime TV in the late 90s.
I remember those. Oh my God. You just brought such a flashback. Oh my God. Denise Austin. I haven't even thought about that in years.
It was the first time she had like two programs, and one was kind of yoga-y, and it was the first time I actually enjoyed movement and like my body responded to it. And then when I was in college at the Coast Guard Academy, a military academy, one of the officers' wives had just done yoga teacher training, and we paid like ridiculous, like $10 a month or something for two yoga classes a week. It was less than that. It might have been like $4 a month. It was ridiculous. It was either $10 or less for two yoga classes a week. And I really loved it until she went on maternity leave. And that was back in the early 2000s. And then I moved back to St. Lucia, and there was one yoga studio in the Northmore what's the word? City urban part of the country, which is like an hour or more away from me. And an hour in St. Lucia is not an hour in like the US. It's like, think of an hour through Tennessee Smoky Mountains, if you know what that is. That's the only thing I've found comparable. And And so there wasn't much yoga. I used to do like a little podcast here or there, a little video here or there. But you have to remember, that's like circa 2010. This isn't now with like YouTube everywhere readily available. Like YouTube was still
It was still a baby.
mostly,
Yeah.
yeah, mostly music and leave Britney alone videos. And so unfortunately in 2012 my brother was killed through gun violence, and my body did not like the whole trauma of the whole thing, and I ended up hospitalized and developed fibromyalgia. And my doctor recommended I get back to yoga, and I had been thinking since I lived in New York in 2010 that it would be nice to be a yoga teacher. So in 2013, I became a yoga teacher, and I've been teaching yoga since then. Mostly I've been trying to, as much as possible, to teach to my community here. And so I've taught a lot of the kids for free in the after school programs and the various things. And seniors, those are my two favorite groups, the kids and the seniors. They don't know anything about yoga and they totally enjoy it. But I also taught at various resorts and stuff like that, because vibes don't pay the bills. And so I also wrote a book, two books, two books, one for the kids because I was so busy I didn't have time to teach them as much as they wanted to. So I made a book so that they could practice by themselves. And I made a book with my clients in mind. They're all like super busy and all feel like they don't have enough time to sit down and commit an hour to a practice as much as they want to. And I was like, let me help you out. Do these little 5 minutes on your busy days. And then on your slower days, you'll come back to a longer practice. And so that's my other book. It's called 5 Minutes of Peace, Yoga for Today's Woman. And I'm really proud of that. And I hope I get to introduce my community here in St. Lucia to yoga for many more years to come.
Oh, you definitely will. Where is your book available?
It's available on Amazon in, hold on a second. Ta-da! It's available in hardcover and softcover and Kindle on Amazon, or just as an ebook from my merch shop, which if you go to my website, eventually you'll find a link to it. My website is monettawilson.com.
That is amazing. So, okay. I think you're the first person I've had on the show that's published a book. So tell me this process. What inspired it aside from the need that you saw? And what is that process like for you?
Oh, I wish I had the other thing here. So back in late 2016, my health kind of like started declining. I was already chronically ill, but like I couldn't, it was burnout. I couldn't keep up with the schedule I had that I needed so I could survive. And I was just talking with my various clients and I could not keep up with my schedule. And one of my clients was like, you really should write a book. And I was like, I kind of have an idea for a book. So I like to handwrite things. So I hand wrote it in my notebook. And then I kind of like planned out like these are the routines I want to have. This is what I want to include in it. And then I had to be going like to the doctor and sitting for hours and hours in the doctor's office. So I started handwriting it on blank sheets of paper and drawing out stick figures for the pictures I wanted to take on blank sheets of paper. I wish I'd dug that out because it's over there in a drawer somewhere because I'm keeping it forever.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you got to keep that forever. That is like classic memorabilia for you now.
I hand bound it like old school binder with the spiral rings and put a clear sheet of plastic on the front and like kind of like sketched out what I wanted the cover to look like. And I'd already done like this whole training program because the kids really really love yoga here. They absolutely adore it. And a lot of the teachers are not equipped if a child is acting out to just be like, instead of yelling at the child, instead of making them feel bad about what they're feeling, to just lead them through a breathing exercise. So I'd already done this training program that I wanted to give teachers the skills to do, to be able to use yoga in the classroom to help their children manage their feelings. And as part of that, I developed a poem. And so I was like, you know what? I should turn the poem into a book. And then I hand drew that too. And it's around here somewhere. And I hand drew it. And so that summer of 2018, I was mostly home because I could barely work, and so I was like, let me do that. And I messaged my friend Kira, and I was like, can you take pictures of me and the kids for this book? And so she stayed here overnight one summer. I had a bunch of the cousins staying here already for the summer because my uncle had just died suddenly, and so everyone was staying here anyway. And so we woke up at like 7 a.m., went across the street and got the other kids, who a bunch of cousins were also staying here, went up the road and got more cousins, and then all the cousins, we went down the street and we got these pictures taken.
Oh my
And
God.
and so we got all the pictures taken, and then we got some more pictures taken at the front here, um with them, uh in the yard here. But we got
Oh,
all these pictures taken of them.
that is
And
so cute. For
yeah,
those
and
that
I
are not watching on YouTube, you may need to come see the YouTube video as well, because this is so cute. Look at everybody. They look so calm and peaceful.
yeah, these are kids who had been doing yoga with me at that point for like about 5 years, like since I began teaching. Like some of the neighbor kids used to come wake me up, like it's like Friday afternoon, I'm so tired, and they're like, I had knock knock knock, and they're like, you're sleeping, we would like to
Hi.
do some yoga now.
Like, wake up. It's time to do the things.
And they're like, we do some yoga now. And so they used to do yoga out in the street in front of my yard. Like how I used to play ball in the same street growing up.
Oh,
So this is like my love story to them. And through writing this book, like it made me, like, to me it was just a, my kids need a book, they need a book, I'm gonna write them a book. And so I did it. And then I had them printed, I gave each child who is in the book a copy, we had a launch party, they got to wear tiaras, the TV station.
I know you just made their day, their whole life. They're gonna remember that forever.
I was just looking at the pictures like this week, and I was like, I did that. Mo, you really did that. And I did like a whole book tour. I went to the daycare center where my mom's work. I showed all the seniors at the senior center where I did chair yoga with them. And then it didn't seem like a big deal to me. I forget like colonialization and how limiting it can be on your mindset. And all the kids were like, when I went to the daycare, the kids were like, you wrote a book? I know someone who wrote a book. Can I write a book when I grow up? I was like, you can write a book now, honey.
Yes.
And they're like, my mom works at the daycare center, and they were like, your daughter wrote a book? And I was like, I guess representation really does matter.
Really
Like
does.
you know something, but then to live it. So anyway, so then I had the kids book out, and all the while I was working on the grown-up book. And I reached out to once I had everything done and the routines and everything, I reached out to my photographer, who we share a godchild. And I was like, fit me in. This man is busy. Like St. Lucia's a top wedding destination. He's a top wedding photographer. But he, like, when I say don't Photoshop my images, like you can fix the lighting, He will find the right angle, and
Right.
he doesn't have a lot of editing to do when he takes the pictures to begin with, and he works with you. So I'm like, I will wait until there's an opening in your schedule. Please tell me how much. I will try to pay you. Um and so I got the so I reached out to the designer for the cover. Is a Jamaican artist. I had like a little stick figure. I was like, I need you to do this. I need you to show a busy mom on her laptop holding a baby and put a dog, because if you have a dog, the dog steps on your mat every time you roll it out.
Every
And I was
time.
like, and make sure she has a puff, and make sure she has thighs.
And nailed it. Nailed it. Like that
I
is
know.
perfect.
Yes, it made me so happy when I saw it. Like it was like, oh, like I don't. We went back and forth a little bit, and he had to do some small changes. But I was like,
She's
look at
adorable, but you can
me.
tell like she's just determined.
Like I
Oh,
was like, look at her. Like this is a man who was raised around Black women, so like you can
he
tell.
understood the assignment perfectly.
Yes.
Understood the
And
assignment.
so in October 2018, we finally got together and got the pictures. Like I didn't have the hair I wanted. My hair was in braids. I was like, I don't have time to take these braids out. We're just going to have to deal with it. The braids were not fresh, but we got the pictures taken. And he finally sent them to me eventually. And I was editing. So the handwritten things went into a Google document, into editing. I did everything myself. And then he sent me the pictures, and I popped over in Canva and like edited the pictures to make like little collages with the different
Yeah.
versions of the pose I wanted to include. Pop that in there. And then once you have everything done in a Google document, you can just upload. I think at these days you can just upload the Google document into Amazon storefront, but from Google Documents you can just download a PDF, and then you have an ebook, and you just have to do like little like editing things to get it to a book that you can print.
Okay.
And so I finally launched it in October 2021, which was like the soft launch date, and the hard launch date was December 2021. Um, and unfortunately, Kira, who did the pictures for the kids' book, she was like cheering me on. She was like, "Let's go, Mo. You can finish. You can finish." She actually was the first person to buy a copy of the book before it even launched. She saw it before I did and sent me a little video, and like 2 days after that we lost her. um so that was really like tough in the process, but
Yeah.
then I was like, I gotta finish, I gotta launch, I gotta like make Kira proud. Like she cheered me on
Absolutely.
so hard, so I gotta do this. And then that's it, that's the book. So the ladies book took me a while, but I really like it.
It is awesome. And I am so proud of you. And because that's a big undertaking to do something of that magnitude all by yourself. Putting that together, I know it took hours. I know it took more than hours.
I think we talked about like months.
Exactly. I'm like, let's make like collect all those hours into several days, months. Oh my goodness. So that
I
is
started
amazing.
January 2018, and I can say I finished like late 2021.
Wow. Oh my
And the whole
goodness.
time I was battling mystery illness. So
But man, it's amazing the way the practice just kind of finds its way into your life and puts you in places you never expected to be. Because I can really, I never planned to be here doing this, talking to you, like at all. But it was yoga that brought me here. And I'm grateful because I would have stayed tucked away in my shell and never have tried anything. And put it in my mind like, no, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something different, first of all. And then I'm going to do this, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And we'll just see what happens from there and just let things blossom from there. And it's quite a journey. And I'm very, very grateful for it. That your story is absolutely amazing. And we've only talked about the book. Like,
Only the book.
we've only talked about the
I'm
book.
like, Mariah, are you talking too much about the book?
No,
You're
that
going
is
on and on
great.
about the book.
No, because that's a big deal. Like, that is a super big deal. So then to circle back to the very beginning of it all, when you first started, what was your first experience like with yoga? Because I always ask everyone this because I just want to understand a little bit more what experience everyone had, especially, us being Black women. What was it like for you when you first started your practice?
I think like it's really unique for me because like I told you, I was at the Coast Guard Academy when I started yoga. We're calling Denise Austin what piqued my curiosity. Um, and it was a unique experience in so many ways. So for those people who don't know, the Coast Guard Academy is one of 4 military academies in the US. It's really hard to get into, and they allow it's a 4-year college. Most of the students are valedictorians or salutatorians. It's physically demanding, grueling. You wear uniform, you serve in the military, and they allow a small number of foreign people, like exchange students, if you can call them that, in every year. And so as class of 2007, I was only one of 4 exchange students allowed. Our class size was originally, retention is like, our class had the highest retention since like some war. Retention is not great. So our class had a starting number of 312 on day 1 of boot camp. You do boot camp before the school year starts, so you spend the summer being yelled at. It's awful. Before August rolls around, and then you have to go to classes. And the credits, it's like 20 credits. Everyone's taking 20 credits during their first semester in college, wearing uniform. So 312 people were appointed. 310 showed up day 1. 2 people were like, nope, we're not here for this. And 236 graduated. At the time, the Coast Guard Academy was 97% white. 1985, I want to say, was the first year, some early number, don't quote me on this, was the first year they allowed Black people in. And 1986 was the first year they allowed women in. So this is where I was, me and my little self, remembering that my mom can't afford to send me to college, and I'm just gonna take this free education the best I can, because what are you going to do with your life? So this is where I was. And it was hard because people expect Black people to be good at physical things, to be athletic, to be all of those things. And I wasn't. I was mediocre at best. Best. And everyone's like, Mo, how come you can't run faster? Mo, how comes you can't throw a ball any better than this? So that's where I was when we started the yoga program. And I'm not sure when exactly it started. Sometime in 2003 or 2004. But that's where we started, and you had to wake up early. It was 6 a.m. It was a 6 a.m. class sometime during the week. And you had to skip breakfast, and you got a box breakfast, because breakfast at the Coast Guard Academy is family style. You sit at a table and you eat together. Otherwise, you get a box breakfast. So you had to skip breakfast. You're wearing your Coast Guard Academy issued sweats. And you walk down out of the barracks down to this other building, and you go to a ballroom. It's the most beautiful place to practice yoga. So everything I just told you was where I was. And then you walk down to the ballroom out of these old barracks, and you go down to the ballroom, an entire wooden floor, an entire glass wall, and you're looking out at the river.
Sounds
And
divine.
and then my teacher was really good. Like she was really, really good. She was exactly what I needed. And that's how we would start our morning. And then they added, and then on Sundays at 6 p.m. in the evening, that's how we would start our week. And as much as possible, I tried not to skip. And I went, and all I can remember is that like my body, this was exactly what my body needed. And like that little break from the routine of everything else, the difference of it was exactly what my brain needed. And sometimes, like during the week, on not yoga days, my friends and I would get together and I would lead them in yoga.
Again, another opportunity for Destiny to come in. So many folks that I have talked to on this platform have had similar experiences where it's like, I started practicing, but then I just found my way into teaching because it was just naturally what happened. I'm like, because it's destined for you.
Yeah. Like I was already like tutoring my classmates with like calculus and chemistry and all of that. And I was, by the second semester at Coast Guard Academy, I was invited to be a peer tutor where they train you like with like all of these teaching skills. So like I was already in that role. Plus the Coast Guard Academy is training you to become a leader on top of making you take all these credits, on top of making you do sports and stuff. So when we would get together, sometimes everybody would be like, I would be studying, and people would be like, I feel like doing yoga. And I'm like, yeah, kind of, me too. They're like, Mo, will you like tell us what to do? I was like, okay, fine. We'll do some sun salutations. And when we're done, we'll foam roll together. Everybody go get your yoga mat. So it was like, I can't imagine my life being anything else. But it's hard to describe.
I can relate. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. The Coast Guard, you said it's Coast Guard University?
It's Coast Guard Academy, but yeah,
Academy,
Coast Guard
okay.
University is an accurate description.
Okay, Coast Guard Academy. Yeah, I can only imagine how much of a safe place that yoga class was for so many people because of what you had to experience. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, 4 years of that? Whew.
like you know, the Army Navy game, the Naval Academy, West Point, Air Force Academy. It's just a smaller version of those.
Yeah.
It
Man.
was like people talk about nowadays it's easy to make fun of diversity, especially like in the military, and people call it woke. But as somebody who was a member of the military for 4 years, um for it, based on my experience, for the most part the military tries to embrace diversity as much as possible because they have a retention problem. And so you gotta meet people's needs if you want them to stay in your organization.
Big time.
And that yoga was meeting the needs I did not know I had.
Well, it's just you're so in the thick of everything. Because I mean, at what point did you have time to really assess how you were feeling and processing things with 20 credits and boot camp on top of that?
Assess.
Like
that first semester, assess. There was a space between my closet and the end of my bed, and I would plop down in there when I started feeling overwhelmed and work on my scrapbook. I started a scrapbook to process my feelings, and and it wasn't like even actively processing it. It's just like, I'm going to do the scrapbook for a little while and my body will do things and I'll feel better afterwards. And when I started getting antsy, my roommate would be like, do you need to go in your spot? And that was the first. I left home June 2003. It was my first time going to the US. I flew up by myself. I didn't see another family member until late October when my aunt flew up to New York and took the train up to see me. When I came back to St. Lucia that December, I I remember the plane flying in, and I remember my mom. I saw her standing outside the fence of the airport, because back then they didn't have all the security that they have
Yeah.
now. And I was like, I see my mom. I do not know that shirt she's wearing. That's new. I'm in the plane. I'm like, that's a new shirt. But she's wearing my skirt. I did not say she could wear my skirt. That is definitely my skirt. And the person next to me is like, that you can tell that's your skirt. That's my skirt. And then I saw her and I was like planning to be like, that's my skirt. Why are you wearing my skirt? And I saw her, and all of these feelings that I had not processed all came all at once. And I just held her and I started crying. And I'm not a crier. And my mom's like, what's wrong? I was like, mommy.
Oh no.
Mom's like, my mom's like, are you sick? Is anything hurting? And I was just
You poor thing. Oh my God. You
like,
poor
and
thing.
then I was like, I'm okay. I just missed you. That's my skirt.
It's like, I'm still gonna bring this up though. You're not getting away with this. Like, yes, I
And
am very emotional right now, but you wearing my stuff.
she was like, you were not using it.
After that experience with the Coast Guard Academy, what happened afterwards that brought you from your passion and love for practicing yoga and starting to teach it to making it part of your life more on a professional level?
Um, okay, so I would say it started. I have endometriosis. And I had two surgeries in the span of like 13, 14 months. So by then I was living in New York. So after my second surgery in New York, I wanted to get back to my yoga practice, and I started practicing at a studio in Midtown Manhattan, and I felt very hip to um hop on the train and go down to Midtown Manhattan to practice yoga studio and to practice yoga after work. It was hard to like just like be like, I'm gonna go. Um and again, it was another full glass wall wooden floor situation. The view wasn't as great as the river, but it really like grounded me and centered me. um and around that time, my work permit needed to be renewed. And I suspected that my employer would not do it because the leadership had changed at work. And I was sitting there being like, Mo, you used to want to be a doctor, but we couldn't afford doctor school. So you have degrees in environmental science. And I remember walking either to or from yoga in Midtown Manhattan, just thinking about what I wanted to do with my life if I didn't work in my profession that I trained for, was educated for. And I just thought, and I just like sat with myself, which is a powerful thing that we should all learn to do. I just sat with myself walking through the streets of Manhattan, feeling totally chic in my outfit that was particularly put together in a spring day, and thinking, what do I want to do with my life? And I just thought, well, if I can't do this, if I can't be a scientist, I would like to be a yoga teacher. And like I saw that, I thought about that. I went home. I wrote a blog post back on my like little blog on Blogger that had like 2 readers. And I wrote a blog post, and that was 2010. And I didn't really think about it for a while because, we go from what is my passion, my destiny, my thing to how can I make money to survive? And I didn't revisit it again until 2013.
So then what shifted in 2013?
Well, it was a combination of my brother dying, getting fibromyalgia. At the time, I was teaching high school, which I hated. My students were amazing, but the staff were awful. And I needed to transition out of that. So I was like, that's my dream, is to be a yoga teacher. I'm gonna go be a yoga teacher. I'm gonna work for a couple of more years to pay off my debt, and then I'm going to be a yoga teacher. But what happened was the principal had not renewed my contract and not told me until the day before I left St. Lucia to go do my yoga teacher training that she knew I was going to go do. So I couldn't do anything about getting a new job until I came back to St. Lucia at the end of the summer, because my yoga teacher training was an intensive in Washington, D.C. Um and I'd planned it for like months ahead of time. So I came back to St. Lucia, no job. I was like, okay, guess we're gonna give this yoga teacher thing a try. So I was reaching out to gyms, to resorts, to everything. So by the time another opportunity came up for a job, in late 2013, like around Christmas time, someone was like, we got an opening at a school. Like I spoke to my mom, and my mom's like, you finally got some opportunities in gyms and resorts. I feel you should stick to the yoga thing. And so my mom used to, every time I would be like, Mom, I got this opportunity to teach the yoga, she'd be like, go yoga, go yoga, go yoga. And so she just like said, like, let's give this yoga thing a try, because teaching is not necessarily the best environment for you to be in. So from 2013, I like kept working at more resorts and like going to clients' homes. I opened my studio as well in my community. I did kids yoga at my studio. I had like different community members coming here in my studio. People would come on vacation and come to my studio. And so by the late 2014, when the Chamber of Commerce Business Awards came up, I was like, let me apply for this Young Entrepreneur of the Year, because I will be 35 real soon and I won't be able to apply for this anymore.
That's bogus. 30, like, I don't feel like old is until like at least maybe 50.
Well, I don't think you go from young to old. I think you go from being youth to adults, like, yeah, kind of like that's like more of the designation, because it's not like you're like old, like you're in the like adult time. So
that makes
sense. You can get that award up until you're 35 years old. There's like other awards like new business and stuff like that. I was like, I'm gonna go for young entrepreneur. And so by the time I applied for that, and they pushed the ceremony to March 2015, and it was live broadcast on TV and on the internet. So like my friends were watching in the US, and there was like a red carpet interview, and I won. And then like all the TV stations wanted to talk to me. And so I kind of became a household name. At that point, there were really like 2 other yoga teachers on the whole island. One was a white lady, and one was a Indian lady, St. Lucian but Indian heritage, who started yoga through transcendental meditation back in the 80s, and was teaching doing art of living, that like brand of yoga. And both of them were like, they were like 2 minutes away from each other. So like nothing here for the rural people. So I'm on TV going, and yoga is blah blah blah, and everybody can do yoga and this and that. And you can find me here on social media. And you know what? If you don't get around to doing it, just pay attention to how you're breathing. And you're doing yoga. And I'm like on TV being like yoga evangelist. Telling my community, Black people, we can do yoga too. Us in St. Lucia, we can do yoga too. Yoga is for everybody. And then like random people would yell my name in the street, and I'm like, hi.
I love that. Yes. That is
So
awesome.
yeah, I guess like at that point, I kind of really didn't have a choice anymore. Actually, today on the bus on my way home, but when the bus didn't take me, took me past my house, this kid came on the bus and she's like, "I know you," and I'm like, "You know me? Where do you know me?" And like, "I know you." I'm like, "What's my name?" She didn't know my name, and I was like, "You sure?" And I was wearing my mask and a hat, and she's like, "I see you on my tablet all the time." I was like, "You know what? You know
Yeah.
what? You know what? You might have a point there." She probably has the book.
Oh my God. I see you on my tablet all the time. That is priceless. Oh my God. The like, because you had mentioned it previously, but the amount of representation that you are bringing for St. Lucia, oh my gosh. Like the story you were telling about the kids and how they, they reacted to the book and seeing not only themselves but you, like, oh my goodness, like we need so much more of that. So much
Yeah.
more of that. So, man, that was a
Like, you know,
no-brainer to give you that award. Oh my God, you deserved it.
academically, we're like, we need to be in these spaces. We need to be there. We deserve to be there. We are there. We need people to see us being there. Like academically, I knew all of that,
Mhm.
but like those kids are like, I was like, wait, wait,
Yeah, it hits different
wait.
when you see it happen in real time, in real life, because yeah, we talk about it, but when you actually see the effects that it has on people, it's like, oh shit, this is real. This really does work. This is amazing. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. Like the kid, there was one moment like in 2014 when the kids who did yoga in my studio, um, like my great grandfather used to tell me about living on the plantation, and when he would like sneak into the big house to read books to teach himself to read, he would get beaten so badly and then he would do it again. And then so I'm 4 generations from that. And the next generation, someone was talking about these kids these days. They're 5 years old. They go to yoga. They get a pedicure. When they play with their dolls, they're playing spa and yoga with their dolls. And the mom sent me a picture of the kids playing yoga with their dolls. I was like, this is generational healing. We have come from the plantation to kids practicing self-care at 5 years old in 5 generations.
That's major. That is so major. Oh my gosh. Cause like when you even made mention of how the kids, like, on the same block when you were a child, that you used to play in the street and, have your fun and do kid things. But now this generation of kids is knocking on your door for yoga to do
I mean, to
outside
them,
in
it's
those
just
same
play.
streets. Like it's crazy how things have evolved, but it's so good. It's so good.
Like
Oh.
it's play to like when you teach kids yoga, first of all, it's the same as play to them. Like it has the same objectives: develop body awareness, develop
Mhm.
dexterity, fine motor skills, gross motor skills,
Cognitive
interaction,
stuff. Yes.
all of those like things. It has the same objectives. It's still play to them. It's like one time with the kids and I did this event for Indian Heritage Day or something. We did this event and we did like a little sequence that we did on stage together. So they had to stay after, they had to come to the studio to practice and stay during grown-up yoga. And the kids declared that grown-up yoga was the worst yoga ever because the grown-ups do not know how to have any fun.
Oh my gosh. They're not wrong. They're not I don't know how many times I have been in front of a class and just been like, it's okay to laugh a little, right? We can have some fun with this. You don't have to be so serious about it.
I'm in a little bubble here in St. Lucia. So my friend Jamie came to St. Lucia and she taught my class at the gym, and it was mostly senior citizens. And I hadn't realized that because I'm in my bubble and I hadn't taught that much yoga in the US, that yoga is not interactive. That so when she and I co-taught a class, she was like, the people in your classes speak. It's not a bad thing. It just surprised me. I was like, oh yeah. Coming from a background of a teacher, when my clients were like, my knee is feeling something strange. Is that normal? I welcome that.
Yes.
But I forgot that we all live under white supremacy and that is not allowed. So my kids and my senior citizens, who I love the most, like I said, they're all just interactive. When I teach the seniors, most of them English is not their first language. So I'm teaching in Creole. Mm-hmm. And I grew up bilingual, which means that you never really learn some words in the other language. So there's some words that only exist in my brain in Creole and some words only exist in English. But I'm also not used to have to be talking about body parts so much in Creole. So when I'm talking to the seniors, I'm like, and in English, I will still say, raise your finger, and I mean your leg, And so I'm doing this and I'm like, what's the word for this? And I'll say the word in English and some of them will still be confused. And then one person will tell me the word, and my grandma is the class clown.
Of course.
She's the class clown and she doesn't do anything but clown everyone else in the class. All she does is clown everyone. And then the other seniors are like, my child, hand is this is hand. That's what you're trying to say. And it's a community thing. And so it's so powerful. And that's the bubble I'm in. And then when I'm at resorts, that's like a different
its
environment.
Own bubble. Yeah, resorts are their own type of bubble.
It's a very oppressive bubble.
Yeah. Because it's like trying to take a little piece of colonized BS and putting it somewhere and calling it exotic.
We could be here talking till tomorrow about resorts. Like, I was talking to my friend one day and I was like, I'd gotten to a resort that was so much more oppressive than my previous ones. And I was like, it's just a plantation. And she was like, do you know Dr. Hilary Beckles of the University of West Indies? He has done a lot of work on how resorts are the new plantations. And I was like, what is this? Look this guy up. And it's like the people who owned plantations built resorts after slavery was abolished in the Caribbean. Not sure for the US, but to be fair, all these plantations are Airbnbs anyway. And they just kept the same practices. Mm-hmm. So and then most of the clients are coming from their very white supremacist thing, where there's a poster with my picture. where they signed up for the yoga. And I show up to the yoga class and they walk past me and go talk to a random white person as if they're the teacher.
Like, why?
Why
You know where you are, right? Like,
why did I set up these yoga mats and greet you when you came in? Do you think I am just the help?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I wearing these leggings and these Lululemon shirt? Because y'all treat me better when I wear this Lululemon shirt than when I wear any old shirt that I bought down the street. Why? It is not to teach you.
Oh. That just made me really warm. Like, not hot yet, but warm. Like, what is the reason for that behavior? What is the reason? It doesn't make any sense.
White supremacy.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Because, I mean, it still happens in the States too. Like, I have walked into, I don't know how many different spaces as the instructor, greeting everyone. The first person in the room, of course, like, I'm the only person standing here. You walk in and you look at me like, I'm like,
I put
yeah,
the mat in the front.
It's me.
I put the mat in the front.
Thank you. Standing right on my mat.
Like, what do you think I am here to do? Do you think, like, why is this a universal experience? Like, people like to be like, Black people are not a monolith. Yes, but y'all treat us all the same. Y'all discriminate against all of us in the same way. Like, why does every Black yoga instructor I meet have at some point, multiple times, been in a room, set up, people see them setting up, greeting people as they walk in. Hey, let me know if you have any injuries, if I can help you with anything. Doing that nice fake white appealing voice, you know? And then like you do all of that. You wear the clothes, you set up the thing, you play the music, you play the Coldplay.
Not the Coldplay.
You play the that I think it's College Humor, Funny or Die, or one of them did a skit with like the Dalai Lama and they played the Coldplay or something. But you know what? I was like, but the white people like when you play the Coldplay during the yoga. Like you do all those things, and then they don't ask you if you're the yoga teacher. You just hear someone being, actually, no, I'm here to practice. I am not the instructor. And you're like, why does every Black instructor have that experience?
You said it, white supremacy, because I don't know how many times that question has been asked, like, oh, are you teaching? I'm like, I've got a microphone on my head. What do you think? Like, no, I just like to have my voice amplified while I'm practicing with you. What?
And the thing is, you have to keep that inside because, you know, professionalism, decorum, yes, civility. Like, hi, yes, I'm the instructor. Yes, Mo that was listed on the website, that's me. I'm actually Mo.
Like, I literally just said, hi, my name is Tyranny. You know you signed up for Tyranny's class. I am her. I just don't do that. But yes, like literally so many, like if not all of us have that experience where there's just disbelief that we're the ones teaching the class that day.
Oh. So one resort I showed at, before they hired me, they asked me to do like a demonstration with the staff. And they had another yoga teacher come. So she was going to be the main person. And I would only work on Friday evenings and I would do like a regular class and then a yoga nidra class. So I showed up to just do yoga nidra with the staff as like their like pre to like final step to saying, yes, you can work for us. I'm like, okay, I will give you all the free yoga nidra. And I showed up and I walked up to the spa and the people there didn't know I'm coming, local St. Lucian Black people. I'm like, hi, I'm Mo. I'm here to do the yoga demonstration this afternoon. They were like, the person, it spilled out. She went, but you're Black. And I went, yes, you two are Black. Mm-hmm. And
Again,
yes.
for those not watching the video of this, like I'm doing a terrible job at controlling my face and my body expression right now because that just pissed me off
She
so
has turned her
bad.
face away from the camera.
Like,
Like, you know what? You're like you have to like put this in your pocket and unpack it later because
yeah.
you're
Because
here.
I like for a second, I'm like, let me take these headphones off and walk away for a second. Because what the fuck? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Like, I was like, I'm Black, yes. Because like I have switched modes. I have switched modes into professional mode, and I'm like, and you step up and you like made sure you wore your nicest, most expensive yoga outfit because like you have to go to the resort, sleek your hair down because you're going to a resort, like make sure like your shoes, like at that point I'd worked at resorts so much that I only went to resorts in brand name clothes because
My
the way they
God.
treat you is so drastic. Like even my shoes were like, there were some regular flip-flops, only my recognizable crunchy brands. You have to like, so that's the mode that showed up. Like this is the mode that showed up, which is exhausting to not be able to show up authentically as yourself to begin with.
Exactly.
But like I said, vibes don't pay the bills. So like you already showed up, you already slicked the hair down, you already put on the foundation, put on the lip thingies, and so you show up and you're already Sweet Soft Mo. Hi, this is Mo. I'm here for the yoga demonstration. Can you let the manager know that I'm here? And you're like, okay. And you're like giving the smile. And then she goes, but you're Black. Yes, 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 I'm Black. You're Black too. So if you could let the manager
Wait,
know
and
I'm
she
here.
was Black too?
Yes.
The poor thing.
Like, you don't think Black people can be yoga teachers? And I was like, she was like, no, but I've only ever seen white yoga teachers before. I was like, yes, but I'm a yoga teacher too. There's Black yoga teacher. The person I trained with was Black. Black people can do yoga. Like yoga came from India. Yoga is not for white people alone. She was like, you're not tall.
Oh, this poor baby.
She's like, everyone I know that teaches yoga is a tall, skinny white woman. I was like, you know me now. I'm Black.
Well, now it's changed. I was angry, but now I'm just sad because I hate that that's the picture that she has in her mind of
Yeah.
these things. Like, and that's why this exists. That's why we are doing what we do because
Yeah.
that can't keep
Like
happening.
every time I remember that again, I'm like, don't let up their neck, Twitter. White people colonized yoga, full stop. 10 people get mad. I don't care if y'all get mad when I say white people colonized yoga. They did.
Plain and simple. In true Yoga in Black tradition, I got to ask you to provide some advice to the folks. What advice would you have for those that are interested in starting a yoga practice? And what advice would you give to those looking to move their practice from just practicing to also teaching? So, two-part
Okay.
question.
Let me give you the teachers first. If you're moving from just practicing to teaching, do your research, try to find somebody who you see also doing social justice work, because social justice, we didn't talk about it, we didn't talk about a lot of things.
There's so much we
social
missed.
Social justice, decolonization is a very important part of yoga. It's not antithetical to yoga, that's not the correct word, but it's not against yoga to do social justice, to speak up for those who have been pushed to the margins of society. So make sure you do the training with people who are doing that kind of work, who speak up about it. There's Black people, South Asians, look for them, find them. those who want to practice for the first time, if you don't like practicing with the first person you practice, try practicing with someone else. There's lots of different types and styles and parts of yoga. It's an expansive practice. So you'll find one that speaks to you. So don't give up. Keep going until you find the right yoga for you.
That's so beautifully said. And thank you for bringing up that social justice piece, because that is very, very important. I know this hour flew by like lightning, but I had so
I
much
didn't even
fun.
talk about accessibility, inclusivity.
I know. So
my passion.
I'm just going to have to bring you back, and we'll have to continue this conversation again on another episode, because, man, there's just so much more that you and I can talk about, because you're just amazing. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you for everything that it is that you do. Thank you for everything that you're going to do, because I know you're not going to stop. I can just see it in your eyes.
I think about giving up every day.
Nope. I already know you ain't going to do it. No.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Do you have anything else that you would like to plug before we go?
Buy my book, follow me on socials, and once a month I do a virtual chair yoga class. So please go to monettawilson.com and you'll find the link to everything. And if that's something you're interested in, chair yoga from the comfort of your house is usually like super gentle and super chill. And everybody who can sit can do that. So please plug that. That's the plug. And my book, buy my book too. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Mo. I have had the best time today. Like she said, follow her on all her socials, Yoga with Mo, get on her website, do all of it, because it's so amazing. She's got such good content. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining in on this episode. I will see you next week with another fabulous instructor, and we'll have Mo back again so we can finish this conversation.
I can't wait.
Yes. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank y'all so much. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Yoga in Black podcast. Want to know what you'd think of the episode? Leave us a comment or a rating on whichever platform you're listening or watching from today. And if you'd like to connect with us on social media, here's where you can find us: on Instagram at yoga.inblack and Facebook, just Yoga in Black. We're accepting donations to help keep this podcast going, and we're also working on bringing back classes with some of the awesome teachers that you've met, so stay tuned. There's other ways that you can support Yoga in Black, starting with buying some merch. Check out our new merch store by visiting our website to grab some new fly gear and show your love for Yoga in Black. We've got shirts, hoodies, yoga mats, hats, and more. Head to www.yogainblack.net for all your Yoga in Black needs. Next episode, I get to reconnect with Mika Lolita. All episodes air every Tuesday, and if you'd like to be on the show, fill out our waitlist form on the website. Thanks again for all of your support. This couldn't be done without you.